Hello, Rob Walker here. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who wished me an almost Father's Day, or a close to Father's Day this past Sunday. That was really sweet. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your patience in the late posting of this video. I had a pretty full weekend last weekend, but now I'm kind of trying to catch up, so yeah, I appreciate your patience. And now it's time to geek out! Which seems to be the theme of almost every one of my videos. This past weekend, I got to go to the Denver Comic-Con. Denver Comic-Con is in its third year, and each year it just keeps getting better. They just had a ton of things going on, and the whole time I was on the floor and in the convention center, I was just gawking at everything, mostly people's costumes. I had a great time. I also got to play a cosplay scavenger hunt. Some of the people on Rob Walker Films Facebook page, I'll put a link in the description, I asked for things that they might want me to look out for, to take pictures of while I was walking around the convention center for Denver Comic-Con, and I was able to satisfy some of these requests. I chose this as my couple's costume for the request. There were tons of great couple's costumes, and they were all awesome, but I'm a big Portal fan, and I feel like these young women really pulled it off well. So yeah. I really like this one because it's Carl from The Walking Dead, and really who would cosplay as Carl? But I thought it was really inventive. She did an excellent job, and I really liked the can of pudding. The Grand Galactic Inquisitor from the Venture Brothers, complete with giant, booming Mr. Microphone voice. Whoever put this together did an amazing job. Yeah. This is really good. Okay, so male Maleficent. So there were two male Maleficents in the convention center that I could see, and I was really excited to find this guy. He was very gracious in letting me take his picture. Because last year sometime I asked my sister about it. I was kind of like, why is it women can cosplay as men or women, and it almost always looks awesome, but when men cosplay as female characters, they look ridiculous, or it's done ironically. And I was kind of troubled by this. And my sister said, is it any wonder? Because most female comic book characters' uniforms look ridiculous, and they look ridiculous on anyone. And her statement is absolutely correct. So I'm kind of happy to see that to see more crossplay on the male end that isn't silly or stupid or ironic, that is actually good, and this seems to be happening with some uniforms, some comic book and character uniforms or costumes that aren't ridiculous. Maleficent, her costume's classic. It's very well done, and you can do a male version of it, and it was great. And also there was a great male Storm from the X-Men cosplay. I didn't get a picture, but it was incredible. Maybe someone else did. Maybe we can check Flickr or something. And I got all sorts of great pictures. The Weta Workshop people were there with giant sculptures of the Hobbit, and they had their Dr. Groordbort laser pistols, the sort of steampunky neo-Victorian laser pistols that they made a few years ago, and those were awesome. So they had so many great guests at Denver Comic-Con that I missed out on a bunch of it. There was just so much going on and so many panels and activities. But I did get to talk and meet with Gigi Edgley from Farscape and Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge. She was staying at our same hotel, and I saw her getting coffee, and I didn't want to bug her, so we stopped at her booth later on, and she was just as lovely and as beautiful as you would imagine her to be. So on top of all the Comic-Con shenanigans, I've also been reading a really neat book. This book is called Anno Dracula by Kim Newman. And the premise of Anno Dracula is that what if Van Helsing and Arthur Holmwood and all of the fearless vampire hunters in Bram Stoker's novel lost? What if they didn't kill Dracula? What would have happened then? A lot of people view this book as an alternate history. I don't really view it as an alternate history, because alternate histories, to one degree or another, denote something that could happen. Anno Dracula is really more at home with stuff like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Planetary, Warren Ellis's Planetary. It fits really snugly in with that. And Neil Gaiman's Sherlock Holmes story, A Study in Emerald. Anyway, so if you like vampire novels, or if you like classic Gothic literature, or steampunk, or just Walt Newton adventure stories, I highly recommend you pick up Anno Dracula. So the other nerdy, geeky thing that happened to me recently was the fact that my DVDs for Season 1 of Nerd vs. Geek came in. For those of you who don't know, Cinevore Studios put together a web series called Nerd vs. Geek, and it is one of the best web series I've ever seen. Full disclosure, I did have an opportunity to be a part of the series. In one scene, some of the characters are playing a Victorian video game, and it is my animation that is the game. The game is called Irish Bare Knuckle Brawlers. Anyway, so since I have 2 DVDs, I've been thinking about how to give one away. What sort of contest should I do? If you have any ideas, please leave comments. I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is really great. And here's one of the greatest parts. The character of Apple, played by Sarah Braun, signed, "Thanks for your support. Love, Apple." Isn't that great? It's been a good week to be nerdy. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Rob Walker saying take care, and I'll see you soon. What are you doing? Okay, so my cat is interrupting my video because he wants attention, and he's trying to get attention by humping his bunny rabbit and making noise.